All right. Happy Tuesday, folks. Hello, Frederick. Great to have you back. I also have a brand new window shade / curtain finally, so I won't be blinded by the late afternoon sun, and I don't have to use a little weird piece of cardboard to keep the sun out. Thank you to my partner, Emily, for helping get that squared away. She's very handy. And it also supports a little extra diffused light into the room, which is fun. As you can see, especially from this angle, how incredibly bright that makes GMK High-Vis. So, and we may stay on this angle for a chunk of the stream today, just because I do have the desk cam set back up after, there we go, after moving it for some D&D shenanigans this past weekend. But I am in the midst of getting a better setup for this, ideally. So, actually, let me turn off one audio thing here that I am seeing is happening. There we go. I had my monitor set up weird in my ears. Anyway, I'm going to be doing a new setup for the overhead. That'll be not using the Elgato, big old clampy arm that it's on right now. Just because for as high as I have it up now with the shotgun mic, like there's so much extra wobble in it. Hey Beast, welcome. Halo Prime. Agreed. What do you agree on? The wobble? The amount of light coming in right now? Anyway, so I'm getting a C-stand and some other stuff to basically rig up the overhead camera to a different thing. So I won't be attached to the desk anymore. I can repurpose this clamp for something else. And then I'll probably rejigger some other stuff around, maybe reorient the face cam to the center, since I'll have that real estate, move some lights around, and C-stand? Yeah. Well, I'm finally investing in one. Hello, Tyler. Welcome, good to see you again. I was just talking about some setup changes I'm in the midst of. I'd also thought about doing some other stuff behind, like I thought about trying to find some like narrow, stable piece of furniture to clamp it onto behind the desk. That was incredibly hard to do. Was looking at something else to attach it to, a nearby thing and bring it over. It's all still pretty wobbly and unstable. So that's why I'm going to go with the C-stand. So hopefully by next stream, should have a better setup for this. And we'll see. Then I can move on to other office projects like improving the acoustics or something like that. But yeah, that should be a fun little project. And I don't know what I'll do with this. This is my old low-profile mic arm. I actually may end up using this, take off the thread adapter, and move it back into the corner and use this for attach some of my LED panels to this to have more of a mobile light rig in the corner that I can adjust as necessary and then not have it on the edge of the desk. But I have a plan. We'll see how it comes together when the C-stand and everything else comes in. But I'm also going on a trip, so I won't have time to set everything up before the stream. So we'll see if it's kind of a rush. But all that to say, we are here for keyboards. I haven't been using the thermal today, even though it was the last thing we built on stream. Went back to rocking the LumaKey. It's been fantastic. I took it to my co-working space and blinded everybody with it, which was really fun. But today, we are looking at a very different form factor and also a board that I haven't used in a while. Similar to the thermal last week, of trying to readjust something now that I understand more about board construction, acoustics, my preferences, all that good stuff. And that is the Protozoa foundation. It also needs a little bit more work. This little magnet keeps falling off the bottom. It is like a little cool little magnet badge of their logo. But the magnet part of it has come unglued, and so I just need to reglue that at some point once I track down my super glue. So we'll just leave that aside for now. And it also has some in the top too. You love foundation? I loved it too. It was one of the first really customizable boards I got into when the group buy happened. I was really excited for it. But try as I might, is this a blemish? Hold on. Oh no, that's fine. Just a little weird spot in the coating. Try as I might, I couldn't get it to sound the way I wanted. I mean, that's top mount for you to some degree. Like, top mount for me has been hard to get right. Acoustically, it's also got, you know, it's aluminum plate in this top mount. There's a lot of metallic resonance kind of inherent in that a lot of times. So we're going to switch up some stuff. I have a lot more switches now, and I know more about my switches than I did at the time. We've got a new plastic plate to try. And I'll probably also ditch, yeah, these are all old and kind of gummed up stabs in here from years ago at this point. I should clarify I've never used one. I just think the layout is sick in the top frames. Yeah. Yeah, I was actually talking to Neflock/Riley on the Novel Keys Discord today about this a little bit, because somebody had posted a picture that he had taken of MT New 800 on a foundation with the black chassis and kind of the Ultim amber top, and I was bemoaning the fact that I didn't get that top. But that's because I got the wrinkle gray, and I didn't think they would look so good together, but this was like this finish. I don't know if I can catch, oh, there we go. This finish was so unique compared to some of the other options they had, and I still don't really have another board like it. I guess the closest might be the Salvation in the copper slag finish, but it's so cool. And I did get an extra top for it, which was the kind of the fade, white to black fade. And since it's essentially gray as well, like, they go pretty well together, and they also can work nicely on stuff together. So we'll decide which top we want to use. And what I was thinking was maybe using Space Cadet on this. With the grays and then all the blue accents, I think might be really nice. Plus it's got, with kind of the XT column setup, you can use a lot of the different hand novelties and stuff. That should be pretty fun. Top mount is my favorite, but I always use plastic plates for it. See, you're smart. You're smarter than me. It took me a while to learn that. Top mount, for my preference, and sounds like yours as well, plastic works better, but I'm learning. The Ultim and Wrinkle are my favorites. Yeah. So this is an interesting layout. This was my first experience with an FRL TKL, but this is also like an FRL TKL XT or whatever the full acronym is. I don't even know. So yeah, an F rowless, 10 keyless, and then it has the extra column going on over here. You can also tell that I also didn't understand split backspace supremacy when I built this the first time, which is also my own preference. But I'm like, yeah, I'll get an extra key. And my most used keyboards use split backspace, so now that's what my muscle memory goes for. So we'll be taking that out. A 73% keyboard. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, as Masters mentioned, like with the tops, that was also a huge selling point of this, was like being able to choose a chassis and have all these different magnetic tops that you could swap in and out really easily, which is super cool. I would love to see them revisit this at some point. I know that Ecto has moved on from other things with Protozoa, and like their remaining fulfillment has been taken over by Prototypist. So I don't know if that would be up to Jay, if they ever wanted to do anything with the Foundation in the future. I don't really know what the state of that is. But it'd be a shame for this to languish and never see the light of day again in some fashion. It'd be fun to get some more tops for it and stuff like that. I also know they've been like waiting on screws, replacement screws for forever. Because I actually had to send this back at one point because the screws were so tight they were stripping. Like I don't know what it was. I can't remember. It was so long ago now what the issue was with the screws. But so I have 2 plates because they actually like put a new one in and sent me the old one and took all the screws out. Anyway, it was nuts. Bought a PAL and let's just say it hit 1 year since the group buy. I do peek into the PAL channel on the Protozoa Discord from time to time, and yeah, it seems like a lot of waiting around, which I understand happens. But let me switch on back over to the shoulder here for disassembly. Oh, people are mad? I haven't seen that. I haven't been paying that close enough attention, I guess. Okay, so let's take things apart, and then we can lube up some new stabs, maybe. Or maybe we should do stabs first, since we have the extra real estate right now before we disassemble everything. I also want to look at, just double check myself on colors here. Yeah, the Banana Stand Discord, they're mad. Must be their first time waiting over a year for board. Yeah, I feel like it's a good time for that that meme from, what is it, the Ballad of Buster Scruggs? With, what's his face, whoever that actor is? With the noose around his neck, first time. So yeah, Space Cadet, I think, will be a good time. And we can do like all the fun XT column stuff there. And I think these grays would go pretty well together. They would also go well with this top too, but I'm thinking that'll work out. Not too samey. Earlier on I was setting up stuff for the stream. I thought, oh, maybe I'll like set up a poll or something and people can like help me figure out what switches to use. And I'm not allowed to use polls yet because I'm not an affiliate or whatever it is. It's the requirements for that are interesting. It's like, I don't want to be famous. I just want to have extra Twitch functionality. You know? I want to be able to do polls. I want to be able to have fun little emotes and badges and stuff. I am an icon designer after all. I want to make some damn badges. I guess I could go ahead and make some and have them ready if I ever do get affiliate. I love those goals. Look, Frederick, I'm a simple man. I just want to make some little icons. As if I don't do that enough in my day job. Which, speaking of which, Final Fantasy 7 is out. Which I don't know that I mentioned last stream. I can't remember because it's been a whirlwind of a launch. But the product I helped work on and design, Final Fantasy 7, is out in the world. We are dealing with some bugs still, as always goes with launches. And new stuff actually getting out into people's hands, but so far it's been awesome to see. I was like 2 streams away from affiliate, had to replace my C drive, and it wiped all my OBS settings. No! Oh man, I'm sorry. Yeah, I can't even imagine trying to set all that up again. I mean, granted, I followed like a few different guides and the kind of like spliced information between them, I feel like, for the best settings and all that kind of stuff. Streaming, recording. Actually, I don't need all this. Do I need 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, that doesn't have a split right shift, so I don't think. No. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 stabilizers. But now we need to figure out what size spacebar we want. So 3 2Us. And either a 6.25 or a 7. What are we thinking? What do you, the viewers at home, think? Oh, these are 6.25 then. This is a 7. These are left over from the sets where we built rebuilt the thermal and built the lumen key. Spent probably 40 hours making scenes and graphics and stuff. My heart couldn't handle doing it again. Yeah, I get it. That's really rough. Do a poll. I just... Epos Fox has a lot of information on OBS. Just wanting to help. Yeah, sure. I think you've sent me some of that stuff before. It was helpful. That was one of the sources that I referenced. 7U, you got it, man. You got it. Just for you. So these can go to the graveyard of 6Us. That I have like a whole bag of 6U wires just floating around somewhere. That is the nice thing, is eventually you can build like a bunch of extra complete sets of stabilizers based from remnants of other packs, which is handy sometimes. Come on, get in the box. Oh, wait, I need stems. What am I doing? Ooh. When they're clear, can't see them coming. I have two 60s on pre-order that are 6.25U only, so it'll be their time to shine. Bust out the 6Us, or 6.25s. That's interesting that there's 60s that are only 6.25. I don't know that I've seen that a ton. Just designer preference, I guess? Or is there some other design limitation for that? Or just purely designer preference? If you know. I'm curious. There you go. Toro has an exploded spacebar. Oh, and the PAL has an air cluster jammed in. Oh, that's right, it does. I thought about getting it on PAL, and I'm kind of glad I didn't at this point. Although I don't have any problem waiting. I'm already waiting on a few boards, but I can understand reaching the point of like, I spent hundreds of dollars on this thing. Please do something about it. All right. The old Crytox. How's the music volume? Doing okay? Trying to do a better job at keeping an eye on the meter. Sounds good, sweet. I feel like that's something I need to start doing for like the VODs, and when I post these on YouTube afterwards, is to actually, like in the video description or something, put in some music recommendation for people to listen on their own while they watch it, since I won't have any of the music baked into the VODs. That might be kind of fun. Figure out some fun little curated playlists or something to recommend on a per board basis. Or whatever I'm currently enjoying listening to whenever they go up. Funny thing about the PAL Discord is people keep yelling at Ecto over not updating the Notion when he updates the Discord, but I'm like, you're here to see the updates and get mad about that. That's the difference. Yeah. I get why they're mad. It's valid. Yeah. Speaking of waiting for things, I saw that the last component for the event horizon arrived today. The standoffs. It was the last bit they were waiting on. So I'm very excited. I know that Max said he was going to go check them out, make sure everything's on the up and up, and then I imagine if it is, they can fully start packing up. Getting things out the door. Which is very exciting. I really need to find something better to keep all my lube supplies in, because currently it's in an old bag from Mode, which had 80, I guess Mode 80 gaskets in it. But it's done the trick. That was another thing I saw in the Novel Keys Discord recently, was people's keyboard component organization, which is nuts. Like some of the most beautiful closets I've ever seen, and like people who have like cut out like the side panels of some of the GMK boxes and like made them fit into these beautiful plastic trays where they keep all the keycap sets, but they still have the branding on them. And they've packaged and labeled all their switches and how they have all their keyboard bags in a nice stack and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, my closet, this one, is a nightmare. Hold on. Getting ahead of myself. Getting too excited. I just have to remember how this goes. There we go. Right there with you. I do what I can to just have a good space for that. Yeah. It is rough. At least I didn't get into this hobby back when I lived in Kentucky, because we had one closet in the house, I think. It was an older, I think it had been built in like the 30s, the 20s or 30s originally, and it was split into a duplex with the top floor turned into a separate apartment. And basically, I mean, there was like one tiny closet in one of the bedrooms, but the other closet was the former stairwell to the second floor, which had been walled off. And so it was basically like us stacking things up on the stairs. And that was our closet. I'd rather have a functioning yet used looking storage area versus a pristine organized storage area. I do see the value in that. But mine is not functioning. It is a pile where I can't find anything. And I feel like if I want it to be functional, I should be able to find the things that I want in it. My house has one closet under the stairs, that's it? Yeah. Yep. I agree with you though, Frederick. I don't want mine to be pristine because I'm the only one who's going to see it. But I do want to have some semblance of order so that I can, when I'm like, oh, I need to find that one thing, I'm not like excavating piles of stuff. None of the bedrooms have one? That's wild. Not even the titular master's bedroom? So Frederick, what are you up to tonight? Working on anything interesting? Ironically, there is no master either. There's one bathroom on the main floor and all the rooms are upstairs. Oh! All right. All right. And the 7U. Ooh, a little too goopy. Glad you asked. I'm working on my Buffalo Wild Wings order because I didn't eat all day. Excellent. What are we having tonight? Not that I would know. I haven't been to B-dubs in a long time. Probably not since college, I'm guessing. So now I will date myself. When was that? Graduated in 2009. So it was at least 16 years ago. No, 26 years ago. No, I can't count. What am I thinking? I can't do math. This is why I do keyboards. 16 years. Free wings today. Oh, very nice. All right, keep these handy. Keyboards are way easier than maths. No joke. Although I've been doing a ton of math for work over the last couple days because I have been revamping our Figma component for Font Awesome. And so part of that component is basically like a file you can use as a Figma library. And it contains one component that has all the families, all the styles, everything in it, as well as like padding and scaling options. And so each of those has been very different. So it's like, we usually do like 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, and then full integer increments in the scale. And then we have like 4 different padding sizes of like none, fixed width, square, and roomy. And so there's a lot of variance of all that stuff. It's required a lot of math. But it's almost done. It's almost done being revamped. You know a song that samples this? Nice. This is also a remix as well. It is the Young Pulse rework of Give Me Your Love. The music is nice. Would this work at the factory? I think so. You can look it up. It is through Pool Suite FM. They have an app, a website and an app that they curate a bunch of stuff off of SoundCloud and other places in some different genres. This is just their default Pool Suite FM. They have other stuff called Indie Summer, Friday Night Heat, Hangover Club, Tokyo Disco. I'm guessing this one would be pretty tame. There have been some channels that have had some more spicier samples in them that maybe the gentle clientele at the factory wouldn't appreciate, but I don't know. All right, let's take our top off. Woo! Spring break. And we'll have to go in here because I think these are the magnets. Pool Suite. Actually, we'll just throw the link in. There you go. So they're very like macOS 7 and 8 era vibes and like a lot of throwback music, and it's fun stuff. Anyway, I think that these here, these screws at these points are actually the magnet that the top attaches to, so let us screw in from the bottom. Let me put down, just so I don't mark anything up here, with the stabilizers that are still in there, we'll put down a little bit of plastic, which is actually the bag that the extra tops came in, if I'm not mistaken. And let's see what we got going on here. Huh, are these screws not magnetic? Well, that'll be interesting. Didn't notice that last time. I'll have to go grab the new plate as well. I don't think I put that over here with my supplies. Oh, missed one. And there it is. Unified daughter board with the PCB, so we don't have any cables or anything we have to manage on the inside. It's got this little microfiber sheet and the beautiful weight. This was one of my favorite pieces of this. Protozoa's always had excellent design, and this echoes like a lot of some of the earlier stuff, I feel like, and the desk pads. Oh, interesting. There's, I don't know if you can see that at all, but there are some cracks in the little polycarbonate diffusers here on the side around the screw. Wonder if they were put in too tight, because I haven't touched those, but very possibly. At least it's not visible at all. But beautiful case. But I will need to reglue that. Let's actually set this aside for now. And then there's the screws for the top mount. Take this out too. Whew, dirty. And top frame. Set that aside too. And the little bitty screws. Thankfully I do have an extra hardware pack if I need it. Just in case, because, I mean, I know this is not going to show up on camera. Well, maybe if it focuses, it will. You want to focus, buddy? No, you don't. Well, if it did focus... Oh, there, maybe you can see that these are custom branded screws. It says Protozoa around the shape of it. Which was part of the issue that they were dealing with trying to get them replaced, I think, in the initial run. All right. And then we've got our standoffs, which are also hex. Are they the same size? They are. Glory be. Let's find something smaller to put these in. Maybe we'll go over here just in case I end up shaking the camera too much. Old plate. Oh, a little bit of foam here. We might try using the foam again. Actually, I'm looking at this. I'm trying to remember if this was included or did I do this? I don't know anymore. Because it was... Let's look. When did I last build this? Let's consult the spreadsheet. So this board, maybe this is before I started putting dates on it. Yep, it is. So I don't actually know, but it's been a couple of years at least. And these are TX stabs in here, looks like. You got dates on your spreadsheets. I did start putting dates eventually, like when I ordered a thing and when it arrived, so I'd have a better idea. And sometimes expected delivery dates as well, like, you know, Q4 of whatever year, that kind of thing. Because as my board collection grew, I realized sometimes I wanted that information. So I still have the shipping and receipts and all that stuff probably in my email somewhere. I just have to track them down and re-add it. I probably started doing... Let's revisit. Adding stuff as far as dates go. When was the first time? Probably around early 2023 or mid 2023 actually is when I started recording a lot of that, I think. So it was pre that. Yeah, it was nice because then I could also like have it run a calculation to be like just like what's the distance, how many days between these two dates, and then spit that out. So I could see some of that information for delivery estimates and all that sort of thing. Yeah, so I do that for boards, and I've started doing that for keycaps as well, like order and delivery dates. And switches are usually like they're in stock and they come, so I haven't done that. But for group buy stuff, I've found the dates to be helpful. Just search your email, yeah. Well, I'm split across multiple email accounts now because I've started trying to move away from Google. So I've started using Proton a little bit, which is based out of the EU. Or maybe they're Switzerland, which is not part of the EU. I don't remember. Either way, they're a much more privacy-focused provider. So I'm slowly migrating everything out of Google as I go, so most of my email is there now. And so trying to track things down in multiple places. Unless you buy HMX Noir from Lube and they shut down. When I bought this, well, not this one, because I got this one from Lumen Key Direct, but when I ordered the Lumen Key 60 from Lube, I also ordered the Noir switches. And of course, gotten neither of them. And I haven't seen if noirs were ever available anywhere else or anything. Because were they a lubed exclusive? I thought I remembered they were, but who could say? In the hazy mists of memory. Which is why I have spreadsheets. There we go. Come out. Beautiful. I might give this a quick wipe down with a tissue just because there's some dust and some lube prints on here. Ugh. I did like with this PCB that they actually have like little spots printed on it to help guide stabilizer location. It's kind of a nice little touch, nice little visual cue. All right. And we'll be... Go ahead and get a bunch of these stabilizer screws out and washers. Come on. So we'll need 2, 4, 6, 8. So between these two bags should have plenty. Cobbling together the last remnants of two different sets of swag keys stabs. Sorry, I'm on Twitch mobile doing chores, keeping crashing. They were available elsewhere. I think I didn't get them a second time. Oh, okay. Hey, no worries. Appreciate you being here. Hopefully it's not my stream that's crashing. Is it just the mobile app? I haven't gotten any notices. Kind of annoyed with Keyboard Dad and Bob because I asked them on Insta if Noir was cooked and they kept ignoring me. Maybe you reach a certain point in the hobby and you feel like you don't need to respond to stuff. Granted, I haven't really interacted with either of them, so I can't speak from personal experience, but they know. It's a little rude. Okay. You know what I haven't seen in a while? 1.2 millimeter PCBs. I feel like they had a moment. That and flex cuts, and they've kind of vanished. But maybe I'm just not in the right circles. Video crashed on me a couple of times, but I think it is Twitch. Okay. Good to know. Yeah, I don't think it's dropped frames or anything. My signal looks good, so maybe Twitch is having some problems. Hopefully the VOD will be okay. Is your toolkit from iFixit? It is not. I don't remember where I got this, actually. It was just like some unbranded thing. It wasn't from Amazon, but I feel like it was from... Might have been from like Kinetic Labs was selling it or something, but yeah, there's no branding on it at all. I don't know where it comes from. But it's worked out well. It was pretty cheap. None of it's broken on me yet. One of them ended up saying something at some point, but I feel like if you know the vendor you used is going under, you should warn the people. Oh yeah, 100%. I didn't know if they were connected with Lubed at all. Or like knew what's his face. I used to know because I was in his Discord watching people berate him constantly. But yeah, I know that that's why some people went after Sterling as well a little bit at that time too, because he and Lubed Guy were buddies and stuff. And yeah, I feel like there is some responsibility, I feel like, to warn people, even if you think you, or even if you're buddies and you feel like you owe them something, I don't know. When there's more on the line than that and people's money is at risk, that kind of changes the equation a bit. Okay. Let's see if these all stay in. Haha. Not mad, just disappointed type shit. Yeah. Makes sense. I thought this was Two Door Cinema Club, yeah. A little remix of a Two Door Cinema song. I'm trying to remember from last stream. Masters, did you say you'd gotten an F1? Was that you or was that somebody else? If it was you, how is it? If you have had much time with it, I'm really curious. Sorry to ask you questions while you're trying to clean or whatever. Oh, he built it last night. Sweet. Excellent. What did you end up putting in it and on it, if you don't mind me asking? MX2A blacks on the V4 alu plate and modern materials. Oh, that's right. You sent me a picture of it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I totally blanked on that. Yeah, that's right. Well, I guess I didn't know about the switches, but I remember us talking about modern materials. Sorry. It's been a long day. I appreciate your patience. Everything's sitting well. Thank you. Yeah, I actually wanted to look at that picture again that you sent me. Yeah, that's a beautiful color. And the weights in there are gorgeous too. My goodness. Alrighty-roo. So I think this might have been cannibalized from something else, but we're gonna try it out. Just judging by this weird little notch for the standoff and stuff, I'm like, oh, that's the wrong way. So it wasn't for the standoff. Yeah, I have no idea what this was from. To be honest, I was expecting to be a little more blown away by the sound, but it's very good still. I think I need the thicker alu plate to see what the true buzz is about. I've heard the V4 can sound a bit thinner. Oh. Is it... Typical plate thickness is what, like 1.5 millimeters or something? How thick is this one? Okay, 1 millimeter. Gotcha, gotcha. All right, let me grab the plate, which I think is in the plate pile. Ye old plate pile. Here it is. Straight from Toronto, Canada. Ooh. Look at that beaut. So make sure we get this lined up. Get the foam in a good spot. We'll see if we even need the foam, but try it with for now. If for nothing else, then a little extra stability. I feel like it might benefit from it. Sounds really clean, it's just not as loud as expecting. But to be frank, I was sound demoing with the AC and the fan blasting. Yeah, that's tough. Tough to know for sure. Wait, was this the one I was using for everything? I've also noticed after streaming a bit that even with like the difference between what I'm hearing, like when I look at the VOD later, what the mic picks up, and then what I hear, especially even if I take an earpod out and I'm trying, or an AirPod and I'm trying to listen, like that can vastly change too. What if you can get away with skipping the spacebar mounting point, or if the other two are too far apart? Oh, like skipping this one? Yeah, I was thinking about trying that. Because I've found, I think it was Alex Sotos who turned me on to that originally. Oh, wait a second. That's like totally, there we go. I was trying to see why there's a hole here. Because does the plate file have an extra hole here? I don't think Tom added that. Usually skip them for top mount. Sometimes they're fine either way. Depends on the board. Yeah, well, let's skip it. Let's try it out. But first, I'm really curious about this plate file. If the one from the Protozoa website, let me look, plate file, foundation, I have my foundation plates here. Let's crack this open in Affinity Designer and see what we got. Huh, yeah, the PC plate has a hole here. Which, I mean, I expected that Tom wouldn't have changed that. Both plate files. Well, at least the ANSI ones do. I don't know about the ISO plates, but both ANSI plate files have an extra hole here. Because at first I was looking at this, why is the foam blocking this hole? Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It very well could have been. I guess we'll see if that impacts anything. Was I using the standoffs with the alu plate? I was. Do you think that could have contributed to not liking the sound with the alu plate? It's also been sitting in a closet for a couple of years, so could be a potential factor. Good to know. Again, I'm not as well versed in top mount because I've discovered maybe I do like it and I just haven't had the right factors, but I've avoided other top mounts to some extent. Although I did do top mount with the new Sonnet, and that worked out really well, but the gaskets are sort of a different ballgame there. Cool. Usually avoid standoffs altogether in every board if possible, but it's a preference. Yeah, well, I did notice with the... I thought the same, and maybe it is true with a lot of boards. When I was building the new Sonnet, my first keyboard stream for Found Awesome, I noticed that without the standoffs, pressing with any sort of force in the upper right was actually separating, and maybe this is because of the switch choice. Maybe if they had been a tighter switch, this wouldn't have happened. But it was actually like separating the plate and PCB apart because I hadn't put the standoffs in. So, yeah, it is probably a preference thing and a per board basis choice. But I think I'll probably start with them here and then, especially since this is also a top mount thing with a soft plate. We'll see, though. Yeah, I didn't expect it to happen either. Because I've also... Just going to loosen this up. Done without standoffs and boards before. And like when I rebuilt the classic TKL coming up, I'll probably do without the standoffs in that. But we'll see. Yeah, very well maybe it may have been like the board geometry and also using the HMX clouds, which are pretty... I'm not loose, but they go in and out of hot swap very easily, so it could have just been a... You know, it just wasn't a super tight connection. I liked my Bauer Light way more after leaving them out. Good to know. Wanted to try a Bauer Light. Can't do in keyless. I mean, I could. I don't want to learn how. I need all those keys down there. Yeah, HMX not the tightest. I do have some HMX we might try today. I also have the... which I thought might go well with Space Cadet, with the blues. So we've also got the NK Classic blues, which I imagine will also be kind of a deeper switch as well, kind of like the granites were, because they're nylon. Nylon? Nylon or palm housing, whichever it is, the other one is too. I am a Mac user, as you can tell from the mods I chose on HiViz here. So yeah, especially with design software, I need all three of these. No, it's fair. And I understand. But yeah, if I weren't doing design software all day and needing these for key shortcuts that I have memorized, then I could do without. But sweet. So let's think about switches. What do we feel like? I have a number of options. We do have the NK Classic Blues, which are a little bit heavier than the granites. Let's look. I want to say they're in the 60 range. 63. 63.5. I also pulled out some of these bad boys, which are... I should remember this. Are these like the cream sodas? Yeah. Gateron cream sodas, which are also 63 grams. But have a little bit of a different sound. I think these are long poles. Got some more HMX options we could try. Like Sugar Rush, Cilantros. 62 to 65 is your jam? Well, maybe we can try one of those. Cream sodas might be nice in this. Because I think they're a little clackier to me. Let me take out a earbud real quick. I don't know if you can hear this. It's a cream soda. There's a classic blue. And I haven't used my cream sodas in a while. Should do these and leave them in until October. Then you can try them. Maybe we'll aim for that then. We'll try some cream sodas. See how we feel about it. Let's set this over here. Yeah, it is interesting going back to something like this after using mostly HMXs for a while, because these are more snug for sure. So yeah, maybe something like this would work well without standoffs. I want to watch from my desk and type on my F1 so bad, but our cats have fleas, and oh no, I just sprayed the rug under my computer, so I'm avoiding the poison cloud. Oh, I'm sorry about that. That sucks. I'm going to do the old socket cheat here that I do every time. To see which way is for stuff new? Yes. Because after 40 some keyboards, that's just boards, multiple builds on each one. I still don't remember where the switches go. You would think we should know by now, but I doubt myself every single time. Yep. Exactly. I think the red and the blue is going to be fun together. I know we won't see the switches, but Feels kind of NASA-ish having this and Space Cadet together. Nudge this foam over ever so slightly. I was dancing. Hope I don't get flagged for singing that. I like the little whistle thing. There we go. These are sitting okay so far. Well, yeah, whatever volume it is on stream right now, it could have a more crickety quality to it. So speaking of music, if you are listening or watching the VOD of this right now on Twitch or YouTube, I'm going to recommend you listen to Wolfpack's Clarity of Cal while you listen to this. I think that would be fun. That would be fun. Has a nice funk vibe similar to this song. There, I can put these back now. Actually, let me make sure I'm not on any applications and don't accidentally trigger an OBS scene change. Okay. Another little streaming project for myself is actually to set up shortcuts that I know for OBS and then pair them with my macro pads for changing scenes and music and all that stuff. Just have not done it yet. I have a good set of the Playground streamer caps, so I can use that to track like the scenes and stuff and have little shortcuts for myself. Masters, have you streamed at all since that wipe of your OBS settings, or have you just decided not to get back into it? Haven't streamed in 5 years. Wow. Try Well, if you ever decide to get back into it, I'd love to tune in. I don't even know if I had a Twitch account 5 years ago. I may have. I don't really remember. I may have, because I used to watch a lot of graphic design streams back in the day, like when Raji King and Justin Mazel used to do it. Alex Grindling used to do it a lot, and they would always have really cool design and illustration streams. But that has not happened in a long time. Maybe 4, fine. I was just casually playing games. Doing boards would have been fun. I don't have the funds for the equipment. Yeah. I mean, my streaming stuff has been built up very slowly over... Oh, geez. When did I... Over like 5 years, probably. Like, I got this face cam, this Sony used like 5 years ago to use for meetings at my old design job. And then, eventually I got a better mic, and eventually I got another used camera. And I mean, this one is my camera that I use for photography. That I just repurpose every now and then for streaming. And yeah, slow build for sure. I do want to get back into game streaming, since that's kind of how I started out practicing for this, was like doing streaming on the Playdate. And so there's always new games coming out for this, and so I want to do another Playdate stream at some point. But Panic is publishing a brand new game this week called Time Flies, which looks really hilarious. I got to see a demo of it at XOXO in Portland last year, so I may end up streaming that at some point. Maybe next week. I won't have time this week, but I have an A6000. I just don't want to buy lenses. Oh yeah, I'm just using the kit lens. I can't buy lenses either. It is food time. Thanks for having the stream. Keyboard looks awesome. However, it's missing a numpad. There is another compact 1800 I'm keeping my eyes on, Frederick, by Zam, full name, Zambuman, that looks pretty rad. Playdate is cool. Stepped away from the desk for a bit. I'm back now. Welcome back, Beast. We have made some progress. We're using some Gat cream sodas. We'll see how it does. Enjoy your Wild Wings, Frederick. Thanks for being here. So, let's get... Actually, let me test some of these stabs first before we get too built up. The 1800 is the SAR by Zambuman. I've been following it a little bit. If you've seen... if you're in his Discord at all... Actually, let me see if I can just pull in a picture of it. There you go. And of course it's yellow, so you know I'm a sucker for it. But this is it with Serica, which he also designed. And I like the exploded arrows. So I'm keeping an eye on that. I don't know the exact status of it. What boards has he made? I don't know about boards. I really only know Keycaps. He's the designer of Serica. Yeah, I'm trying to look through some of his other stuff. What else he has been involved in. Oh, I unplugged this. That's right. So that I wouldn't make a mistake. He designed Striker, Purple Knight, Serica, GMK Lux, and Yamon. I think this may be one of the first boards he's been involved in, but also I don't know for sure. Yeah, big hitters for sure. Serica is the only one of his that I have. I want another yellow board really bad so I can get rid of mine. It's my least favorite board, but it's yellow, so I can't really let it go. Good stuff. I get it. Let's see. That isn't the right shift. Cool. I got my space bars in here. This is one of the only sets that I have in like a tub rather than in its original GMK tray. So tracking stuff down is a little hairy. Won't need that though. I want to find, there's a space bar. Of course it's not the right one. There it is, all the way at the bottom. It's like hunting for Legos when you're a kid. F1 time, fumes are gone. Excellent. Hopefully the fumes Hopefully both the fumes and the fleas will be gone soon for you. All right, stabs are sounding good. Oh, geez, that was tight. Be gone, smaller spacebar. Oh, the F1 is 7.5 pounds? Yeah, so. Okay, let's get things back together again. That took a little longer than I had expected. I guess this is largely identical. Oh no, I guess it has a different spot for the daughter board. So. Wait. What am I doing? This is the wrong piece. Right? Or am I doing something completely wrong? There we go. Again, you'd think I'd never built a keyboard. Just a little finicky to get everything lined back up just right. Because part of it's going underneath. Aha! Not sure how I feel about the right-aligned USB port, but it's more of an issue with my setup than the concept itself. Yeah, I've had similar feelings when I've been trying to get cables arranged just the right way. Because I do have a few that are like that too, like the Matrix Corsa and maybe the Navi, but the Corsa for sure is on the right side. And also like the classic TKLs are not centered either. And so it's a little bit interesting. That's not lined up. I guess that was more seated back in there, wasn't it? It's more recessed than I remembered, but I think that is the right way. Okay. Just do finger tight on these. I'm wondering if we might need a slightly larger bit. There we go. That is improved. Extra purchase. But again, not going too tight. Seven plates. 7 plates! What are you getting? I've really enjoyed getting new plates. It has given quite a few boards now a new lease on life, and it's very fun, and it's so much cheaper than buying a new keyboard. Alright, so we are going to skip the spacebar. I think Masters is right to suggest that. We'll skip it for now and see what we think. And not put a top mount spot down there. He makes the F1 plates. I think I might order one just from him instead of trying to find out why on this as well. Yeah. Might be the smart play. All right. There we go. We'll leave this one out for a little extra spacebar flex. And let's see, this goes this way. Don't need the plastic anymore. I'm not afraid of the hot swap sockets tearing up my desk mat. I don't know if this microfiber does anything acoustically, but it is nice to have, I feel like, just in case something bottoms out and I don't scratch up the case. You're getting the Zoom 75, the Balder 65, the Zoom 98, and the Flip 6P. Ooh. I do remember seeing the 75 and the Balder. I'm not as familiar with the other two. Yeah, the glass keyboard. What is that like? Does it scratch easily? What's the coating like? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's for the LED underglow. At one point, when I first built it, I put Mecha Kaiju on here. And so I had these like really deep orange kind of shooting out, which was kind of fun. Okay. Yeah, nice having a little bit of flex. Feeling good. A little extra standoff, a little extra top mount buddy. So let's think. Well, we can go ahead and start putting some keys on. Oop, what just jammed up? Oh, there we go. What is happening? What did I do? I have no idea what happened just then. Still sounds pretty open. Not sure of the coating. I'm not sure if I like the Boulder Encore more out of my collection. The Encore is pretty tasty. I'm interested to see what the new materials are in the new run. This is one that doesn't have either. Yeah. Oh, this is very deep. I'll have to see if I like that. It's very... I like it. It's different than my usual preference. I usually like it a little clackier, a little higher pitched. They have been in some of my other boards. I don't know if it's just... the addition of the plastic, maybe some of the foam. But it felt very open before too, which is something I didn't like, but it also had a more of a metallic ping to it. This plate is PC. The aluminum plate was a problem for me. But this is dampening some of that metallic ping that I was getting last time. And it's just being pure depth. Which I do like. ERT. We'll do... yeah, the foam was left over from last time, so maybe it would benefit from taking that out and see how it is. Oh wait, this is a numpad 3. What am I doing? Gonna keep these in mind for the column, see what we want to do there. Mid-plate foam. And I just kind of left it in there. And the only thing on the bottom is that like thin microfiber sheet. That. But it may warrant more experimentation. Which is kind of, I wish I could do longer streams, because then I would love to like continue to take things apart and experiment, but I only get a couple hours every week to do this. And that doesn't lend itself well to rebuilding a ton and testing things out. Numpad, don't need F-row. Honestly, something atrocious like tickling or ticking, not tickling, ticking or metallic sounds like you just throw it out for a few days. Yeah. Same. Which is where I ended up with the Serica that we built on stream, just because I was like waffling on it after the fact. And then I decided that I did like it with the granites in there. Need some of those. Don't need that. I'm also clacky-pilled. But I have a couple words that sound really different from my usual. It's nice to change it up sometimes. Agreed. I think that is a good perspective to have on it. Step caps, always if it's available. Hyper. Don't need a big alt. Use our backspace. Tab. Really need to rebuild my salvation. Me too. I can understand why you may be dreading it, because it's got those little leaf spring like strips in the bottom that can be kind of a pain to mess with, I've discovered. But yeah, I don't like the way my salvation sounds, which is another one that's been sitting there for a long time. And I need to try some different things with it. I got the it's actually right over there. I'm wanting to try the granites out of here. They may have a scratch, as it sounds cheap to me. Anything you can tell me about them? They do have a scratch. They do have scratch to them. Which I knew going in, so I don't mind it too much. But it's not overly so. It's not like there's a little bit of lubing to it. But I think there was some scratch lifted on purpose because it does give it a little bit more of a vintage feel. But and they're very deep, if that's not something you're interested in due to the materials that they're being used. Yeah. I don't know. I took everything in you now to get the copper slag. Got the silver. I don't regret it, though. It's beautiful. I'm sure it is beautiful. But yeah, I did get the copper slag was a finish that I couldn't pass up at the time. Because it is quite lovely. And we've, it's also another one of these like kind of wrinkly finishes, kind of like this. Granted, Sullivan did a much better job. Or I don't know if he did the coating, but maybe B coating did, I don't know. Whoever did the coating for these did a much better job than the coating on the foundation, I have to say. Like, it's not the worst, but it's, you can tell it's a little uneven in some places. Like the QC wasn't 100% on the wrinkle gray for the foundation. But I had Nixies commissioned because I thought I would take Alex's word, and I hate them. I also don't like Nixies. I have 90 of them over there that I never use. I just haven't enjoyed them. I don't know what it is about it. If it's, I mean, it is the sound. That's a little dusty up here. But I know there's plenty of people who do, and that's fantastic. But anyway, yeah, I thought Ramses was a good match for this. We all need more SA sets in the world, I feel like. So at some point I'll revisit getting the sound of this, something that I like. Well, your messages keep getting auto-modded. Oh, there we go. I just allowed it through. Because of the word slag. It is flagging it for misogyny. That's what it's telling me. But yeah, it's a copper slag. That's the name. Have you tried unloading all your Nixies, Beast? There's got to be somebody who'd be down for 180 Nixies, right? Wait, what am I doing? This is a scooped F. Be gone. $1 million no actuators and desk key films. Ooh, it sounds nice. On paper. I do only have 72. I also don't know if I need more, as the ones I have are currently not even in any of my boards at the moment. Do you want Mind Masters? I will gladly just give them to you. No joke. I haven't had anything fancy done to them. And I'll pause. Keep some of these handy. As far as I know, I think they're stock. Let's look. They may have been lubed. Where did I have to see where I got them from? I probably did get them lubed because I have only ever lubed like a couple sets of switches. So they may not fit with other ones if you've got something else going on. Ah, where are they? Where are they? Cherry MX Black Clear Top Nixies. So I got them from lubed, interesting enough. They are hand lubed. 62 gram linear, blah, 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 not filmed. Yeah. Yeah, I think. Yep, here they are. 90 Nixies. But yeah, if you, I mean, I can just mail them to you if you want. You can DM me or something. Whatever you prefer. I will be glad to have the container back for something else. Because they're not my speed, I don't think. I haven't, maybe just haven't used them in the right configuration or scenario or other factors at play. Just haven't loved them. Do you think you guys can help me with a cost of them to sell? I want them gone. Oh yeah, that's true. Well, I didn't know, you know. I didn't want to assume that you'd want to meet up somewhere or something. Yeah, I don't know how much you would want to sell some for. Especially if they've been, like, heavily customized. I feel like that's extra cost on top. I don't know. I'm always bad at pricing stuff. There's a big super. Is that a Mortal Bloom? I don't know what that means. There's got to be another big super in here, right? Well, there's a meta. I do want control over here. And then I'll probably make this into like my function or whatever. I'll just make this one hyper. Sure, why not? Oh, my drink. No, this is only goes to show a margarita style sour. We made tacos tonight, and I thought this would go well with it. From One Well Brewing in Kalamazoo, it's quite tasty. It's very much more lime forward than I had expected, and I am not mad about it. Let's see, more thumbs. I think I'll end up using, there's an H finally, using the numerals. But we'll see. Still need a Z. Who's got a Z for me? Oh yeah, and this. And the pipe. Actually, is there a blue tilde in this set? That would be rad. Page up. Down. Scoopy J. There's the Z. And modded broken in cherries are like over 100 for 90s. You could probably easily get like 150 for an 80 meal pretty easily. Yeah. So stoked to hit Perrin in the next 2 weeks. Nice. Okay. Probably good advice. I don't have much insight into Switch pricing or the modded Switch market. Times, no. Alright, let's move on. That's a little repetitive. So let's see, we got an R1, and then we need an R2, 2, which I believe is, I think that's R2. That's row 1. Just remind myself. Just remind myself how rows work. 2. This is 3. And then 2 row 4s. And there it is. That looks like row 4. Nice. And the other thing that I always forget is TKL nav clusters, especially when stuff is missing, as far as like it being F-rollless. Buying 180 stock Nixies probably costs more than that. F1 is their first ever MX black build ever, somehow. Oh, I forget that too, yeah. I've heard lots of good things about MX Blacks, another Switch I have not tried. Although I could use some of these over there, some of the hands and stuff. That might be fun, actually. And then I don't have to remember what it's supposed to be. Check and mate. Could even reuse some of these. I love cherry switches a lot. They're just so much work, which sucks because they're already so expensive before all the time and supplies. Yeah, I've heard that. I have a bunch of MX purples, cherry purples, that I need to mod. If nothing else, than oiling the springs and lubing them. But they've just been sitting in a bag. Although I did just get a lubing switch recently from a friend, so, or lubing station, which will definitely help with that. I just need to, again, find the time, which seems almost impossible to do. Okay, so row 2. Let's start with row 1. Maybe we'll do... Since I sometimes use these for volume controls when I'm using an FRL, let's do thumbs up and thumbs down for volume, which would be fun. So row 1, is there a row? This is a row 2, thumbs down. So we'll do that. Curious about those, not a fan of browns. I think they're really similar. Yeah, that was actually my first board, had browns in it, which were unlubed and quite crusty. I did not mod the browns in my first keyboard like you did. I wanted the path of least resistance. And then do those, and then maybe that's not row 2. Did they not? Is there not a stop for row 2? Interesting. So maybe in that case. Mine was a pre-soldered pre-build. Same. Tofu 65. Oh, that's not a row 1. Something else I want to put up there, maybe. I wish there was like one more hand signal. What do we think should go here? So I'm thinking about mapping these to media keys instead and doing like volume up, down, next track, previous track, pause. And I won't use them for their typical bindings. Could do another numeral. Is there anything that I accidentally glossed over here and threw into the reject pile? A bunch of function keys and stuff. Thank you. I think it is too. That had been a plan a while ago, and I don't know that I ever actually tested it. I was also planning on keeping Space Cadet for the event horizon, but I'm going to go with 1520. Now that there's more built up in here, I am really liking the sound of this. Did my mouse die? Oh, damn, it did. Emergency. Excuse me. Gotta plug it in. That's why the Logitech mice don't warn you at all that they're about to die. Oh, this is the wrong cable. Perhaps I had it coming. I don't even know my cables. There we go. Strange they do not have another hand. Yeah, it would be nice if there was a sixth one. But, I mean, they're meant for going in a row or in a column like this. Which is what I've done in the past when I've used them in the F row. Because like in a normal cluster, there would be 9, so. Switches have been posted on Mic Market Discord. Sweet! Enjoy. Hopefully it will move swiftly for you. Because this is only made to go in row 1 or row 4, which is interesting. I'll have to make a decision. Maybe we'll do... We'll do a page down. Might look stupid, but whatever. 125 our best offer. Nice. Yeah, it's kind of dumb, but whatever. I don't care. Ooh, I'm almost out of time. Gotta slap a top on this and give it a little sound test. Okay. Oh yeah, that's smart to split it up. But yeah, somebody may not want to go in on a giant batch all at once or something. So, I know this doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and put it under here for the moment. Just so I don't lose it. The little badge. So now we want to decide. Do we think... Let's see how it looks with the wrinkle gray. The wrinkle gray top. Actually, just leave it over there. Pretend there's a badge here. The grays do work really well together. Or the gray fade is also very nice. The polycarbonate. They did a really good job with that. I might leave it on this for a little bit right now. That's looking kind of hot. And it's also kind of fun with the the wrinkle gray and the polycarbonate together. I think that works. So let's see. Let me go back to this view. Turn up my mic gain a little bit. Yeah, different materials, same. Since the Encore came up earlier, that's one of the things I like about the Encore. Those mix of materials. All right, let me pause this. Take these out. Ooh, that spacebar is so deep. I might have to brighten that up like I did with the thermal. Throw something else in there. Yeah, let's do that real quick. I think that will be, and something I can already tell I'm going to want. It's a little too deep. It's so quiet too. Oh, just the spacebar or like the sound of the keyboard in general. I can crank up the gain here again in a second. I just didn't want to blast everybody's eardrums. Just the bar, okay. Good too. No, I'm still figuring out the EQ for this shotgun mic. Come on, little buddy. There we go. Didn't want to come out. Maybe we'll just throw in another I've got a few HMXs sitting over here. Maybe we'll throw. I still have a bunch of poros sitting here from last time. So let's chuck one in. Might be a little too far in the other direction. Something a little more toned down. Just a test real quick. Yeah, agreed. I think it's too much of an overcorrection. So let me actually look. So that was a poro. Maybe I should find something closer to boop, 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 boop. Put these back in for now. I do have an Obscura. Like a normal Obscura or one of the Alex Obscuras? Yeah. I have a bunch somewhere, but I know I have them in my Neo 65, so we can just steal one from here. Oh, we've only used the Alex ones? Well, maybe we'll get one of each to try out. So this is one of the normal Obscuras. Yeah, I think you may be right, because I think the Alex ones are like 58-ish. Got too many dang switches in this list. Yeah, 58. And your normal Obscuras are 65. So this would be... closer to the weight of the cream sodas. We'll get one of each. Here's an Alex one. Gestalt? Yeah, Gestalt is a beauty. I'd love it if I've known some people have asked to rerun it in PBS, which I think might be kind of fun. All right, pause again. Ah, that's a better... That's closer. Actually, I just realized I think I have the wrong profile hand right there. I don't know the set, sadly I had to get the artisan for a Prime Color themed Hebe June. Mm-hmm. It is a lovely set. One of the first things I got from Creative, I think. Let's see if I can track that down. That's going to bother me if I don't change this slightly. That's a row 3. Like a fool. I do too. I think this might be... I might try the other one as well, the other Alex. But I think having the spring weight closer to... Oh, that's row 4. Closer to the cream sodas helps. Why didn't I pay closer attention? Watch there not be a row 2 version of this hand. Well, that's row 4 of the other one. Down. Aha! There you are. Nope, that's the other hand. Damn it. Should have kept all those separate. Maybe I was totally off and there isn't one in that row profile. Interesting. Well, that may affect... Is that really not row 2? Well, that one is row 2. It's this one that isn't. Maybe we'll have to do a little switcheroo then, since this one does come in row 2. And just change to that. Done. All right, I'll clean up later. We'll clean up these now, actually. And then we'll do a little extra sound check. I like this too. That is sounding considerably better. What is this? Some schmutz on the polycarbonate. Considerably warmer than the last time I built this. It felt really cold and hollow, and while there is, I can still hear the space. With that plastic plate, I think really did wonders. And I think also not mounting under the spacebar helped a lot, so I appreciate that recommendation. It's good to have this back. Let's do another quick... Oh, there we go. We got the underglow on. Let me see. Let me turn off my lights. Ooh, you can see a little bit on the sides there. Also some that kind of comes through. You can see it at certain angles from the top, but a nice little bit of underglow here, which is lovely. And I'm glad the PCB still works after all this time. Thanks for coming, Beast. I really appreciate it. Hope your switches sell swiftly. Yeah, this is great. Very happy with this. So, that's it for tonight. I will be traveling soon. Hopefully we'll be back next Tuesday to stream. Don't know what we'll be building yet. It'll be another rebuild. I don't have anything new. Very possibly the rebuilding maybe the Neo 65 or the Proto Yellow Classic TKL. We'll see. But appreciate y'all being here. Prius! Evan, hello. Look at my hat. This happens every time. When Max Voltar showed up, I was wearing one of his shirts, and Now, I feel like this is like a summoning ritual. I just need to wear other people's merch and they will show up. You got here just at the end, dude. Thanks for coming. We rebuilt a Protozoa foundation, which with a little bit of tweaking, I have a fan of. We'll have to speak on the Nixies. How do you feel about Nixies? If you like Nixies, a set of 180 customized ones just went up on Mech Market. If you're interested. But yeah, very happy with how this turned out. And we'll be building some more in the future. But after that slide aside, I'm going to go. It is very hot in this room. Thanks for being here. And let's play us out. Ooh. Music through the thing. And I'll see you next week.